Welcome to Educon. This is Imam with you. In this session, we'll start learning about kingdom Plantae, Animalia, and viruses, virions, etc. Coming to this topic, kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae includes all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms, commonly called plants, where a few members are partially heterotrophic. Generally, plants are autotrophic, but there are certain members in plants category which are actually heterotrophic, such as insectivorous plants or parasites. Insectivorous plants means they they are carnivore, like they trap insects for their nutrition. Examples for them are bladderwort and Venus flytraps are example for insectivorous plants. For insectivorous, we have two examples: bladderwort and Venus flytrap. And for parasitic, Cascata is example. The plant cells have a eukaryotic structure with prominent chloroplast and cell wall mainly made of cellulose. And we'll study the eukaryotic cell structure in detail in chapter number 8. Okay, here we'll learn about a brief description in this biological classification. So we have a 5 kingdom classification. Among that, kingdom Plantae Animalia is a part of that 5 kingdom classification. We have finished under 3 kingdom briefly in earlier videos. So about detailedly about plants we'll learn in chapter 8. Plantae includes algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Life cycle of plants has 2 distinct phases: the diploid sporophytic and the haploid gametophytic, that alternate with each other. The lengths of the haploid and diploid phases and whether these phases are free living or depending on others vary among different groups in plants. Life cycle has 2 phases, that is haploid and diploid sporophytic, whereas haploid gametophytic, which alternate each other. The length of the haploid and diploid phase is dependent on various factors, and they are not these phases are free living or dependent on others. And these phases vary among different groups in plants. This phenomena is called alternation of generation. That we'll study about the kingdom in chapter number 3. We'll study about the structure of eukaryotic cell in chapter number 8, and we will study details of this kingdom, that is Plantae kingdom, in chapter number 3. Coming to kingdom Animalia, the kingdom is characterized by heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms that are multicellular and their cell lack cell walls. This is the major difference between the kingdom Animalia and the plant. These plant they don't have any kind of cell wall. They directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. We also comes into this category as a human, so we consume a lot of vegetables which are actually plants. They digest their food in an internal cavity and store food reserves as glycogen or fat. Their mode of nutrition is holozoic, that is by ingestion of food. They follow a definite growth pattern and grow into adults that have a definite shape and size. Higher forms show elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism. Most of them are capable of locomotion. Plants, they won't move. That's the difference between the kingdom and Animalia. We don't have cell walls here, and regarding some other differences we'll study in chapter 8 about the eukaryotic cell. Their mode is the nutrition mode of nutrition in plants is different, in animals it is different. So it is holozoic, whereby we take food by ingestion through our mouth, and most of them are capable of locomotion. The sexual reproduction is by copulation of male and female, followed by embryological development. And salient features of various phyla are described in chapter number 4, that we'll learn soon. Coming to virus, virions, prions, and lichens. In the five kingdom classification of Whittaker, there is no mention of lichens and some acellular organisms like viruses, viroids, and prions. So in the five kingdom classification, we don't have any mention. There is no any mention of lichens and some acellular, means they are not truly cellular, because viruses are so small. Then bacteria we consider as unicellular, but viruses mostly they are acellular. These are briefly introduced here in this biological classification. All of us who have suffered the ill effects of common cold or flu know what effects viruses can have on us, even if we do not associate it with our conditions. Viruses did not find a place in a classification since they are not considered true living. They are not considered to be living. If we understand living as those organisms that have a cell structure, because we understand that living are those organisms that have a proper cell structure. The viruses are non-cellular organisms that are characterized by having an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. Viruses are non-cellular organisms that are characterized by having an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. So here we have the structure of virus. Two viruses here. One is tobacco mosaic virus and that is a bacteriophage. Once they infect a cell, they take over the machinery of the host cell to replicate themselves, killing the host. Host means on which the virus, like we are the host, like other organisms like animals, all are these hosts. Once this virus they enter into the host, they try to replicate and killing the host cell. Would you call viruses living or non-living? Now you can decide about this. Virus means venom or poisonous fluid. Dmitry Ivanovsky in 1892 recognized certain microbes as casual organisms of the mosaic disease of tobacco. These were found to be smaller than bacteria because they pass through bacterial proof filters. The time the scientist who is Dmitry Ivanovsky, he recognized certain microbes, okay, which are found to be smaller because they pass through the bacterial proof filters. M.W. Bezernek demonstrated that extract of the infected plants of tobacco could cause infection in healthy plants and named the new pathogen virus. At that time, even the extract, it was used to on the tobacco plants, which causes infection on the healthy plants also. Because bacteria, they can't pass through the filters, but virus they can pass through the bacterial proof filters. Hence, that time M.W. Bezernek demonstrated that the extract of the infected plants of tobacco could cause infection in healthy plants and named the new pathogen virus and called the fluid as a contagium vivum fluidum. So this is the word contagium vivum fluidum, infectious living fluid. Stanley in 1935 showed that viruses could be crystallized and crystal consists largely of proteins. Okay, who discovered that? Stanley. What he did? He showed that viruses could be crystallized and crystals consist largely of protein. They are inert outside the specific host cell. Inert means they are just like non-living. When they are outside, when they are on table or on the soil, they are very inert. Only they become living when they enter into the host cell. Viruses are obligate parasites. Remember, this is the important word here. Here, E.W.M. Stanley is important, and the scientist names like Dmitry Ivanovsky and Bezernek. These three scientist names are very important. In addition to proteins, viruses also contain genetic material that could be either RNA or DNA. No virus contains both RNA and DNA. In generally in prokaryotic cells we have RNA also and also RNA and DNA also. A virus is a nucleoprotein and the genetic material is infectious. Here the genetic material is infectious in virus. This is also important line. In general, viruses that infect plants have single stranded RNA and viruses that infect animals have either single or double stranded RNA or double stranded DNA. You can this sentence which I read out just now. In general, viruses that infect plants have single stranded RNA and viruses that infect animals have either single or double stranded RNA or double stranded DNA, because it can be we can make questions like which of the following statement is true. For that type of question, this sentence play a major role. Okay, you need to remember this. Bacterial viruses or bacteriophages. Viruses that infect the bacteria. Bacteriophage means it's a bacteria it is a virus which infect bacteria itself. Are usually double-stranded DNA viruses. The bacteriophages they contain double-stranded DNA viruses. The protein coat called capsid made of small subunits called capsomeres protects the nucleic acid. Now we saw the bacteriophage image in earlier slide. So it is made up of small subunits called capsomeres. It is made up of protein. Protects the nucleic acid. These capsomeres are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric forms. How they are arranged? In polyhedral geometric forms. Viruses cause diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes and influenza. All these 4 diseases are caused by virus. AIDS in human is also caused by a virus. This is the most dangerous disease which is affecting the world, AIDS. In plants, the symptoms can be mosaic formation, leaf rolling and curling, yellowing and veen clearing, doffing and stunted growth. Stunted growth means growth is affected, like there is no any growth in the plant. It won't become tall. So if it is short, it remains there. That is called stunted growth. Coming to viroids, in 1971, Theo Diner discovered a new infectious agent that was smaller than viruses. The viroids they are even smaller than viruses and caused potato spindle tuber disease. It was found to be a pre-RNA. It lacked the protein coat that is found in viruses. So here viroids, they do not have any kind of protein outside its RNA. Okay, and hence the name is viroid. The RNA of the viroid was of low molecular weight. So for example, which of the following statement is true about viroids? Okay, here you can have 4 options, like they are smaller than viruses, first option. Second option, they contain free RNA. Third option, it lacks protein coat around the RNA. The fourth option, like all of the above. So answer is all of the above. Sometimes you'll be having, you need to set only one answer. So in that mode also we can make questions. The RNA of the viroid was of low molecular weight. So this is also important line. Coming to prions, in modern medicine, certain infectious neurological diseases are found to be transmitted by an agent consisting of abnormally folded protein. In modern medicine, certain infectious neurological diseases were found to be transmitted by an agent consisting of abnormally folded proteins. The agent was similar in size to viruses. These agents were called prions. The most notable diseases caused by prions are bovine spongiform encephalopathy. BSC, that is a short name for that. Is the diseases. What is the disease? Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, commonly, which is commonly called mad cow disease in cattle, and its analogous variant Jacob disease in humans, CJD. Okay, so these are the two diseases which are associated with the prions. Coming to lichens, lichens are symbiotic association, that is mutually useful association between algae and fungi. Okay, the algal component is known as phycobiont and fungal component as mycobiont. These three lines are very important. Okay, which are autotrophic and heterotrophic. They have both mode of nutrition in it. Algae prepare food for fungi, and fungi provide shelter and absorb mineral nutrients and water for its partner. So it's so close is their association that if one saw a lichen in nature, one would never imagine that they had two different organisms within them. Okay. Lichens are very good pollution indicators. They do not grow in polluted area. So you can this is also important line. So with this we concluded this chapter, and coming to please subscribe to my channel, and also go through, after listening to the video, please go through the video and also go through your biology books. So the more you read, the more you remember, and all the things which are important will be highlighted in the video itself. Thank you, and please subscribe to my channel.